You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa is coming to town, so prepare to die.
Why are you so bloody?
It's Christmas Eve. You can't sleep because you're so excited for Santa Claus to drop off your gifts. Then you hear a creak downstairs. Your parents told you to stay in your room until the morning, or Santa won't come. And you just can't help yourself. You tiptoe down the stairs, peek around the corner, and catch a glimpse of Santa himself. But instead of a sack full of goodies, he's holding a bloody axe in one hand and your mother's severed head in the other. Santa Claus is a cultural symbol all around the world.
Santa! Oh my God! I know him!
He's jolly, saint-like, and devoted to spreading Christmas cheer to all.
Must be leaving.
But there's something a little darker underneath his rosy cheeks and joyous demeanor. He keeps meticulous tabs on the children and enacts his moral judgment by deciding who deserves gifts and who deserves a lump of coal. Santa slashers on screen are just invoking that darker side of Santa Claus, punishing anyone who engages in premarital sex or doesn't believe in Santa himself. They can be begrudging men in Santa suits carrying out their just punishment. Or they can be vengeful spirits that the Hallmark cards got all wrong. I chose 10 films, and I will rank them at the end of the video, after we've gone through the history, contexts, and the classic Santa slasher tropes. It will be from worst to best based on the kills, the Christmas spirit, and the Santas themselves. I'm always looking for new horror movies to discover and share with others, so this is my way of doing that. But if you have any other recommendations, I would love to check them out. So grab some cocoa, start a fire in the chimney, and let's begin.
When Silent Night, Deadly Night was first released, many parents were shocked that a movie about a maniacal Santa Claus would be shown at Christmas time.
In 1984, angry parents congregated in front of the theaters all across the Midwest and East Coast because there was a movie that dared use their child's beloved icon as a slasher villain. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Could you imagine what these families had to go through? They were watching the wholesome show A Little House on the Prairie when this ad popped on their screens. That is so funny. They claimed their kids would be traumatized by Santa Claus and lose their Christmas spirit. As if there isn't already a song literally warning children to watch out for Santa. These protests proved to be successful because after 1 week, it was pulled from theaters. Well, it was successful until Silent Night, Deadly Night was brought back into theaters months later, became a slasher classic, and generated a bunch of sequels and reboots.
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
Including a remake coming out this month. And doesn't this ad just show how remorseful these filmmakers are and definitely not capitalizing on the controversy? No! So, great job, you guys. I don't know if someone should have told the angry parents or not, but darker versions and more problematic elements of Santa Claus are not new. Tracing the roots of Santa Claus is complicated. He's ancient and has been shaped by countless cultures over the centuries. But the Santa you see in your local mall actually is linked to the real-life bishop, St. Nicholas, a monk known for his generosity and miracles. One of those miracles? He resurrected 3 boys who had been pickled in a barrel by an innkeeper. So, that's cool. To honor the patron saint of children, December 6th became St. Nicholas Day. And fun fact, the Dutch call him Sinterklaas, a name later translated by Washington Irving. Yes, the Sleepy Hollow guy into Santa Claus. In the Netherlands, they will put on this festive Sinterklaas parade, where people adorn his saint robes and are followed by his helpers who hand out candy and, oh boy. This character is known as Zwarte Piet, or Black Pete translated to English. This blackface tradition has been a long-standing part of Dutch holiday celebrations, and thankfully, one they're finally starting to move away from. These days, he's being replaced by Schoorsteen Piet, or Chimney Pete, who's supposedly covered in soot instead of racism, so yay. Historians theorize that when the Dutch came to the New World, they brought the story of Saint Nick with them as well. So then, the American Santa we know of today was molded by the artists who interpreted the mystical man with poems, texts, and drawings from the Victorian era. It also helped that shopping malls began to advertise gift giving with the newly popular character Santa Claus. Please, don't you want to be a gift giver? Buy from us. And conveniently, Santa became the perfect parenting tool. Be good if you want gifts from Macy's. Santa, sorry. But in Europe, children have more to worry about than receiving a lump of coal for their bad behavior. Darker folklore characters like Germany's Krampus whips and drags naughty children to hell. In France, Père Fouettard accompanies Saint Nicholas with a basket on his back and a stick. The nice kids get presents from Saint Nick, while the naughty ones get the whipping from Père Fouettard. I mean, if you're going to be the patron of children, you should probably have someone else do your dirty work. Then, there is the Jólakatarinn, the Yule cat who stalks Icelandic villages and eats anyone if they're acting lazy. Because the American Santa Claus has been influenced by so many cultures, I think of him as like this dark, grim fairy tale that was chewed up by the Disney machine and spit out all shiny and palatable. But this pristine image found on Coca-Cola bottles can easily be corrupted again. This Santa slasher didn't actually start in movies. He started in comic books. In 1942, Leading Comics #2 introduced a version of Santa who was a pirate named Mr. Big. Ooh, festive. But one of the most famous killer Santas in comics comes from Vault of Horror #35, An All Through the House, written by Johnny Craig. In this story, Jean lands herself on the naughty list after murdering her husband, only to discover a deranged man in a Santa suit stalking her from the outside. The story famously got adapted twice, once in the 1972 Tales from the Crypt film, and again in the 1989 TV series.
Naughty or nice?
Alright, with all the folklore and history out of the way, let's start unwrapping the slasher Santa and figure out why he picked up an axe instead of a toy sack. This one's pretty obvious, but if you're going to have a Santa slasher movie, it has to take place during Christmas vacation. It could be St. Nicholas, Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, day, whatever.
Can we open our motherfucking presents now?
These stories usually unfold in small-town suburbia, the picture-perfect American dream, or sometimes in extravagant mansions tucked deep in the woods, where no one can hear you scream. Carolers sing in the streets, twinkling red and green lights decorate the houses, and shiny presents wait under the tree. It's the perfect juxtaposition for the horror to come. The protagonists who live in these idyllic neighborhoods are varied. They can be young adults who do not believe in Santa, but they quickly learn that's a mistake.
Oh shit! We gotta get out of here now!
And once they do believe in Santa, because, well, his undead corpse is standing right in front of them, they try to convince other people that he is real. One of my least favorite protagonists is Frank from the Dutch film Sint.
Then why didn't you break up with her?
Have you ever seen Sophia naked?
I have to root for this guy?
Hey, are your parents home?
Why?
So you can give me my present.
No, Frank, I don't know about that.
I'll be off then. Now, you know, you're just as much of a bitch as you are a best friend.
Naughty. The most pure slashers on this list, of course, has the final girls. You know how it goes. They're aloof, virginal, quiet.
I don't fucking care. I just want his little Christmas Eve schlong.
Okay, well, not Tori from Christmas Bloody Christmas, but the rest of them, stereotypical final girls.
You're the only one. Out of all of them, you're the only one. I like you, Nancy. I want you to be all right.
But more unique to the Santa slasher subgenre is that children can also be main characters and end up saving Christmas. In the Finnish film Rare Exports, Paitari is a young boy with a strained relationship with his father. But when children begin disappearing, Paitari must unite the adults of the village to stop an ancient, evil Santa Claus from rising from his icy tomb. We also can't forget Thomas from the French film Deadly Games, who does everything he can to protect his grandfather and their mansion from a very creepy Père Noël. Thomas believes he's chatting with the real Père Noël through the Minitel, a pre-internet device used to communicate over telephone lines or something. Unfortunately, on the other end is a deranged man dressed as Santa, who just wants to play some deadly games with the boy.
Mais tu sais, il faut pas chercher à voir le Père Noël. Sinon, il se met en colère et il se transforme en ogre.
Ignoring his mother's warnings, Thomas stays up late, hoping to catch a glimpse of Santa. But he quickly learns that this Père Noël is no bringer of gifts. In an act of bravery, Thomas hides his nearly blind, diabetic grandfather and engages the killer in a tense cat and mouse game throughout the night. And oh my god, I love their relationship. It's so cute. But Thomas' grandfather isn't the only cute grandpa in these films. In coming-of-age tales, having a nurturing grandfather figure seems almost mandatory. Someone who represents the old-time Christmas tradition still alive in the modern world.
You see Santa Claus tonight? You better run, boy. You better run for your life.
Well, nurturing might be a strong word there. Unfortunately for Billy, his grandfather is a harbinger, a raving figure who deliriously foretells the horrors to come. And they are never subtle. At the all-girls school in All Goodnight, there is a groundskeeper named Ralph who says bizarre things with a vacant stare.
That's our duty to take care of the plants.
Yeah.
God put them here to give us pleasure.
Yeah.
But he is the first one to feel that there's something sinister in the air, and he tries to warn the girls, but they scoff him off, thinking, that's just Ralph being Ralph. Word of advice? If you want to survive a horror film, listen to your local harbinger, because you do not want to face off against a slasher villain. So, let's talk about the Santa Clauses themselves. They come from all parts of the world, but with one goal in mind: to punish. They might be sexually repressed men in Santa outfits, out to condemn the horny. Usually slashers follow the unlikable group of teens with their drinking and sex. But besides To All a Good Night, the Man in Santa suit films are more unique in the fact that they are through the slasher villain's perspective. This is important because when they don the crimson suit, they actually think that they have become Santa Claus himself. So as the audience, we get to watch their downward spiral into Christmas madness. Henry from Christmas Evil thinks he is whipping the reindeer that are flying his sleigh. But in reality, he's yelling at nothing while driving his white van. He says it in almost this maniacal way, as sweat drips down his gaunt face. His trauma is linked to Christmas gone wrong in his childhood. And what, pray tell, could that possibly be? You know that song, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus? Well, what the Jackson 5 didn't tell you is that the child became so traumatized when he grew up, he became a bloodthirsty man in a Santa suit. It is the ultimate slasher Santa origin story. Their outlook on Santa Claus is so pure, but it is then distorted by sex. Henry and his family are anxiously waiting for Santa Claus to show up. And when he does, it's such a magical moment for little Henry. But later that night, Henry's brother says that Santa wasn't real, and it was their dad who was in a Santa suit. But Henry adamantly said it wasn't true because he's desperately believing in Santa's magic. After hearing some strange moans, he creeps downstairs. In an instant, the image of Santa shatters forever. Wayne from Santa Claus just straight up murders his mom after he catches her in bed with his uncle in a Santa suit. But to be fair to Billy from Silent Night, Deadly Night, he watches his mom get brutalized by Santa Claus, then have to live in an orphanage overrun by a sadistic nun. Which is like, fair. That traumatized anybody. The only job a Santa slasher would ever need when he isn't hacking someone to bits is working at a toy factory or store. He might not have elves in the North Poles slaving away for him, but close enough. Henry takes his job very seriously, and all of his co-workers make fun of him because they're like, it's just toys. But they have no idea how far he will take it. Like, he gorilla glues a fake old man's beard to his face, for goodness sake. I admire some dedication. He also takes it upon himself to spy on the neighborhood's children to see if they should be on the naughty or nice list. Okay, that's a bit far. Another gig they will dabble in is being a laugh for all the kiddos to tell him their Christmas wish. It's really just a good excuse to get him in his iconic suit. I wouldn't say they're the jolliest of Saint Nics, but you can't say that they don't put their own flavor into the role.
I don't bring toys to naughty children. I punish them severely.
Even with the built-up trauma they've been carrying into their adulthood and being surrounded by Santa iconography, it takes a couple incidents to trigger them into their spiral. Billy seems like an all-American boy at first. When the owner of the toy shop makes Billy tragically put the Santa suit on, something changes in him. When he sees a woman he has been crushing on getting brutalized by another co-worker, Billy is brought back to the harrowing scene of his mother's death. He then kills the assaulter and is crushed. Billy is a reflection of all the abuse, guilt, and shame that has been put onto him.
Punishment is absolute. Punishment is necessary.
And he enacts his own sense of retribution.
Punishment is necessary, Pamela. It is good.
Wayne, in Santa Claus, becomes obsessed with an erotic horror actress. He has this whole shrine dedicated to her and has the latest edition of her bust. It's not the healthiest behavior, especially when you consider his toxic idea that she's somehow wrong for daring to strip on camera for other men.
Thinking of what all those guys are doing while they're watching you.
Well, I don't think about that. It's a lot of fun for me, and I make a lot of money at it.
How about the guys on the set? Don't they get turned on watching you?
Is this stupid film trying to say something profound? Well, he follows the natural progression of inceldom and channels that anger into becoming Santa Claus. Like, Santa Claus, like, you know, yeah, you get it.
Santa Claus knows what you want for Christmas, Raven.
Honestly, it's pretty vague what makes someone naughty or nice. But Santa slashers make it very clear, thankfully. Looking at smut magazines?
Naughty.
Being obedient?
Niceless.
Having sex?
Naughty.
Showing the promise of being a good little homemaker?
Niceless.
Being a bully?
Naughty.
So there you go. If you follow these rules, you should be relatively safe from a slasher Santa. Now, Santa slashers don't have to just be ordinary men. They can be the real deal. Their origin stories may vary. He could have been a Viking warrior laying waste with his sledgehammer. He can be an evil, vengeful spirit that hates children, or just the actual Antichrist.
Mr. Satan.
Actually, that's Shaitan.
In Sint, the beloved Saint Nick never resurrected any pickled boys. He was actually a leader of a murderous group that robbed and murdered his people. The townsfolk had enough and burned him alive on a ship. The secret has been kept from the masses, letting them think that they are worshiping a holy man, even though every full moon on St. Nick's Day, he comes back from the dead and people mysteriously die. Did you know the only reason Santa Claus has been nice to children is because he made a bet with an angel in which he lost and had to promise to put his dastardly satanic deeds aside for 1,000 years? Yeah, I didn't know that either. In Christmas, Bloody Christmas, he is an actual robot that is there to replace the degenerate mall Santas.
Robo Santa Plus fully replaces your local degenerate mall Santa, keeping you and your children safe.
They said it, not me. As we can expect, Santa Claus comes from the North Pole, with Mrs. Claus anxiously waiting for his return. I would love to see that kind of relationship. Like, they can be a Bonnie-Clyde duo. Rovaniemi, Finland, on the Arctic Circle became the official village for Santa Claus in 2010, which coincidentally is when Rare Exports came out. Well, according to Rare Exports, the reason is because it's the headquarters for shipping out Santa Clauses all around the world. It has nothing to do with bringing tourism to their town. But supernatural Santas are not alone. They are accompanied by their helpers or elves. Sinterklaas wasn't the only one burned alive on that cold full moon. His crew faced the same fate. Their charred faces leading to the legend of the Zwartepeten. They go around killing anyone in sight, like these doofuses, and whisk away children to their ghost ship. While Sinterklaas's zombie army of Zwartepeten are cool, it doesn't compare to the strange elves and Rare Exports. The locals come across this creepy old naked man that is looking at the little boy in a very uncomfortable way. Like, can you please stop looking at him like that? To save Christmas or whatever, this guy is flying a helicopter carrying a large cargo of kidnapped children to lure the Joulupukki away. So there's this strange visual of all these strange naked old men running after children. Like, give me the children. I want the children. I don't know, it's super weird in a funny way. The last Santa Clausism we have to check off our list is the reindeer. So, you know, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen? But do you recall the most evil reindeer of all? The Buffalo Hellbeast who gobbles up bouncers at strip clubs. He matches Santa Claus from Santa Sleighs so well because they're both very muscular. The reindeer and Rare Exports aren't so lucky to be hellbeasts. They were just a meal for the Joulupukki. Sinterklaas rides around on his ghost horse, a Mirago. He looks phenomenal as he runs on the rooftops of Amsterdam. The elves, the reindeer, they're all here to help Santa on his mission to kidnap children. Instead of finding the children all snuggled in their beds, the parents find strange dolls in their place. This is the handiwork of the Joulupukki. This goes back to some of Santa's folklorish roots like Krampus. Sinterklaas and his Zwartepeten steal the children and bring them back on their ghost ships so they can be sacrificed to keep the curse rejuvenated. It makes sense that children are targeted because they are the center of Christmas, so their blood makes for the perfect Christmas ritual. But honestly, sometimes Santa slashers don't even waste time with elaborate child kidnapping schemes or mysterious rituals. They just kill them. So really, no one's safe. So how does Santa punish all the ones on his naughty list? His favorite weapon is the axe. He's a hardworking guy, and that axe is associated with cutting wood for the fire, for a chimney perhaps? Less common is a crossbow, but still very effective. But they don't stop there. They will get very creative by using any Christmas tool or prop nearby. Satan
Actually, that's Shaitan.
has used tree toppers, candy canes, a menorah, exploding presents, and even a stripper pole. He goes crazy with it for sure. Santa slashers might just resort to their handy dandy toy sacks. The most useful toy sack has to be in Violent Night, where Santa Claus grabs any random toy and uses them in any way he can. But he is at his most efficient when he has a sledgehammer, reminiscent of his Viking weapon, Skull Crusher. One of the most unique kills, and my personal favorite, is when Billy takes a babysitter or big sister, I can't tell, and impales her on a stuffed deer's antlers. It's so creative and gory. But on the other side of the spectrum is Santa Claus. When I think of Santa Claus, I think of Wolverine-like claws, like tearing people apart or something. That would have been cool. But no, they thought of something so much more terrifying: a garden cultivator. Oh no, not the cultivator. So why do audiences enjoy Santa slashers so much anyways? I think they're the perfect inversion to the glossy holiday tradition. Harry is frustrated that the Christmas spirit is dying. When Harry sees his immortal hero reduced to not the saint he has come to love, he himself has to take up the mantle. The company that Henry is working at said they're going to donate toys to a children's hospital, but only if the employees work harder and give some of their own money. This enrages Henry, which sets him on his bloody quest, but not before stopping by the hospital with the toys he has stolen from his company to give to the children. It is such a beautiful scene that it can't help just put a smile on your face.
You'd better get some of the staff. I'll wait here.
Unless you're just dead inside. And that's what Christmas should be about, not what the companies want or some PR stunt to make more money. So there you go. The meaning of Christmas learned right here by me, the Rosy Witch. So now on to the rankings of my 10 films that I picked for this list. As I mentioned, I am ranking them from worst to best based on the kills, the Christmas spirit, and the Santa slashers themselves. Starting with number 10, the worst of the worst. The one that absolutely deserves a lump of coal.
Santa.
Besides some interesting themes of how women are vilified in the sex industry compared to men.
I know, but you see, that's okay if he does it. But it's not okay if Mary's one of these type of girls.
There really isn't much else I can say about it. And it really has nothing to do with Christmas at all. I mean, it does, but it really could have taken place any other day of the year. And don't get me started on the sniveling, pathetic man who thought a garden tool was a good Christmas weapon.
Nobody loves you as much as I do, Raven. If you reject my true and honest love, then you'll get what's coming to you.
But the biggest no-no is him putting on his Santa getup in the last 20 minutes of the film. He spray paints it black like he's so edgy. The song kind of slays though. Anyways, moving on to number 9. Let's see if you can guess this title. It's from a famous poem starting with the phrase, Merry Christmas
to all. And to all, a good night.
It's probably the truest form of a slasher on this list. You have the convoluted revenge plot, not knowing who is behind the mask, and the harbinger warning of the bloodshed to come. It's got the horniest group of people I've ever seen put on slasher celluloid.
Tom, will you stop messing around and seduce me like a man?
Like, the men wanted to get laid so bad, they had to get on a private jet just to get to the ladies. However, like Santa Claus, it doesn't really do anything with the Christmas holiday. It's just kind of standard, nothing memorable. Well, there is this one creepy part when one of the girls becomes so traumatized, she dances around and sings to herself. So, that's a little eerie. Number 8 on this list is about a saint, but not the holy kind. The effects might be a little iffy sometimes, but I do think it's beautifully shot. And what especially added to my experience was a horrible dubbing.
I'll see if I can clear Kurt's name. I'll do what I can.
I wouldn't have watched it any other way. The main character was a little too naughty for my liking, and the other characters were so whatever. But it was very satisfying watching these men die gruesomely by the hands of the undead Zwartapitan. The ending kind of loses me. The Ghost Pirate ship reminded me a little too much of another film I desperately want to forget about. It's not a fair critique, I know, but trauma's trauma. At number 7, the Santa kills with mechanical precision. This was fun. It's very colorful, harking back to the 80s films that inspired it. It kind of has this punk rock vibe to it and incorporates cool synth in as well. But oh my gosh, this Terminator Santa won't die. How about now? Definitely dead now. No? He has to be, right? Oh my god. Oh, trust me, if it really was US government built, it would have died a long time ago. The best kill Robo Santa got was when he killed a child. I literally did not expect that. Holy hell. And since we're in the modern times, this final girl is loudmouth horny, gets pleasure, and kicks ass. I love the characters, but the ending goes on way too long. Like, die! Even though I love the main characters, Robo Santa severely lacked personality. He's a robot, for Christ's sake. He could have had some cool catchphrases like, "You'll be sorry," like, you know, Yuletide. Yeah. Or, "It's Claus for a celebration." Well, okay. I would hope it's better than what I'm saying, but you get the idea. And I've seen other Santa Clauses get creative with their choice of weapons, so no excuse for Robo Santa. Number 6, for this Santa, he's awaited 1,000 years for his festive killing spree.
Santa's sleigh.
Okay, logically, objectively, I know this film is dumb. It's cheesy, weird, and I don't really know how to explain this, but it feels so 2000s.
Santa?
Still, it was kind of awesome. Since Satan has awaited 1,000 years to go all evil again, he makes every moment count. Am I the only one that thinks this is fun? I don't know, whatever. I don't care. It's great. Highly recommend if you like some good trash. The next Santa at number 5 is if John Wick became Santa Claus.
Come on. Which one of you did that? Prancer?
I know I kind of cheated on this one a little bit. He isn't like an evil Santa Claus. He wants to protect the little girl at the center of the story. But in doing so, he violently kills so many people. So, I don't care. It counts. What makes it a strong contender on this list is how it incorporates the Christmas spirit. Like how family is important and why kids look to Santa for Christmas miracles, while also bludgeoning heads with a sledgehammer and killing people by chimney. Who knew a little bit of bloodshed would be so rejuvenating for your career?
Come on, you beautiful bastard!
It's not higher because he isn't super evil like the rest of the Santas on this list, but that's not a problem for the next Santa at number 4, who literally sends creepy old naked men to kidnap children.
Rare exports, A Christmas Tale.
My genuine true thoughts are, I thought I would have liked it better. I've heard so many good things about it, and I was actually really into the first half. However, I felt a little let down by the second act. And I was like laughing way too hard at the helicopter scene. You know, like the kids and the elves and oh my gosh. And there were hardly any deaths. Since children were disappearing, I would have loved to have seen the build up with that and how the town is taking it. However, it was a very unique story and I really rooted for the child hero and the rugged men. And it feels very Christmassy in the setting of Finland and has like this childlike wonder woven throughout the story. At number 3, the next Santa takes that childlike energy to the extreme.
Christmas Evil, the night he dropped in.
Christmas Evil has it all. A sympathetic villain, heartfelt moments, and great kills. This film embodies the soulless corporate side of Christmas, while also showing what the holiday should really be about.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Sure, it's a little cheesy and off-putting, but I think that's what adds to its charm. Christmas Evil doesn't feel like a typical slasher, even though it did come out in 1980. It feels sincere in what it's trying to say, even if it's a little tonally confused. At number 2, this Santa is the hottest slasher around in this icy subgenre.
Get through Halloween. Now try and survive Christmas. Silent Night. Deadly Night.
This is the most quintessential Santa slasher. You root for Billy to overcome the trauma he faced as a child, and it's tragic when you know that it isn't in his future. But when he does become Santa, it's really fun. He has some of the best kills and one-liners. But I don't think this film lives up to all the controversy it stirred up in 1984. I mean, Siskel accused the producer of taking blood money.
You people have nothing to be proud of, even if you made a few bucks off of all the negative publicity. Your profits truly are blood money.
Like, bit of an overreaction, don't you think? However, it's not my top pick because it doesn't have the beauty, the surrealism, and the loss of innocence like number 1 does.
He finally met his match.
Père Noël is one of the most terrifying Santa figures on screen. You don't really know his true intentions. Is he a childlike man wanting to play? Or something far darker? There are comparisons of this film to Home Alone, which, like, they're so different. Not just tonally, but in messaging and the vibes.
My mom's in the car.
Where's your father?
He's at work.
What about your brothers and sisters?
I'm an only child.
Where do you live?
Can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because you're a stranger.
Sure, the kids set off some traps to evade the home invaders, but in Deadly Games, the stakes feel so much higher. One of my favorite horror theories is that Kevin McAllister from Home Alone grows up to be John Kramer in Saw. But if any kid is going to be John Kramer, it's this kid. The darker atmosphere feels like a warped fairy tale. They live in this fantastical mansion with rooms filled with abandoned toys of Tama's family. It's like this forgotten graveyard of abandoned childhoods. I interpret the setting of this film to be more in Tama's head, like how he sees his life, because he's very imaginative. And unlike the importance of family in Home Alone, Deadly Games is about the loss of innocence. So please, if you're going to watch Home Alone, watch Deadly Games instead. It will definitely get you in the Christmas spirits. It's almost cathartic to watch a corporate holiday being turned on its head, especially since Christmas isn't always a happy time for people. God forbid you're the chick from Gremlins.
And that's how I found out there was no Santa Claus.
So remember, think twice about landing on Santa's naughty list because it might mean the difference between life and death. Santa Claus is always watching. Have a sweet nightmare tonight.